What is up, everyone, all football fans and Barca fans? I'm back here with another video, and today we're talking about the UCL draw that just happened. And also I'll be talking a little bit about the Napoli, a little bit more about the Napoli game after that, a little bit of what happened there, and what we can look forward to in the quarterfinals now, because our opponent is someone we've faced before, but we'll get that in a second. But now we do have a set quarterfinal, like it's all been set up, the quarterfinals and the semifinals as well. And then I'm gonna go over the teams pretty much in the best way possible. I'll probably put up maybe here or there, whatever, the bracket right there. But as you can see, there's some decent, like really good ties in there. Let's just see, I'm gonna bring it up here as well. Right there. We have some very interesting games, which are very cool. We'll get to ours last, but first, the first time that was drawn, I'll talk about the whole thing. The first that was drawn was Arsenal, which will be facing someone they surely did not want to face, that they've faced before and been absolutely dismantled by. It's Bayern Munich. So it's Arsenal versus Bayern Munich once more, which is going to be very, very interesting. And it's gonna be one of those ties that's gonna be like, you never know what can really happen this time though, because yeah, so if you look at it like up front, you see that Bayern would probably be the favorites, but this season they haven't been the absolute best that they could be. They're struggling in the league right now. It looks like if things are going as they keep going, they'll probably miss out on winning their league this season. They'll probably fail to do it for the first time in over a decade, pretty much. I believe, right? So their main focus could though be in the Champions League, which could then also potentially be a negative for Arsenal if they Bayern are very motivated to go far into this competition. But you know how they'll struggle. You know how they've not been the absolute greatest. Versus Lazio, that was not an easy tie for them. They did not go through comfortably versus Lazio. Yes, in the second leg they did win more goals and all that. They scored more, but overall it did not look very confident as they usually have been, or as many would have maybe possibly thought they would be. So it wasn't all like roses, pretty much. It wasn't all like all flowery and great. So hopefully we'll see a good game here, but Arsenal are recently actually in a decent form. Arteta has brought them up more and more and has done some very interesting stuff with the club. So I wouldn't, count them out entirely, but it's tough. It's tough because you know how they can be usually when it comes down to it, when it really matters, they can get very just like iffy, And even though yes, they went through against Porto, it was just kind of barely. Porto did take him to penalties pretty much, so it was not a convincing, victory there. So, and they also lost the first leg. So it's not it's not that they're without their flaws still. So we'll see how that goes there in that type. But it'll be definitely be interesting to see which team really has the more motivation there to really put it out there and go fully which coach is it, Arteta or is it Tuchel, who's gonna outsmart the other. But then we go into something a little bit other. The main two big ones. We will talk about Atletico Madrid versus Dortmund. Atletico Madrid has been drawn versus Dortmund, and I think for them that they are super happy with that. That's the most favorable draw. Everybody wanted Dortmund, pretty much, because they, on paper, pretty much are the weakest link here, pretty much the weakest team. If you look overall with it, they did go through pretty well and pretty strongly against PSV, but it still is PSV though. It's not like that's like the most super difficult thing though. They have no disrespect to PSV, they have incredible players. In the first, like they gave Dortmund a fight, so that ended 1-1. And Luke, they have great players like Luke De Jong and all that kind of stuff. But overall, you kind of figured that Dortmund would be the one to get through that tie and get past them in the end. And in the second leg, they won 2-0. Not, I would say comfortable, but not really super comfortable because it was 1-0 for a long time. But it's still, they look like they could do well, and they have a very good informed Jadon Sancho over there now, who's doing great. So, and other pretty decent players. So it's, you can see like they're not the super underdogs, but compared to all these other these players, all these other teams and clubs, I think they are the most, even with Arsenal, because at least Arsenal are doing well in the league. They are up there in the table in the top four and doing some good stuff there. So though I don't think nothing's gonna come out of that, but that's not beside the point. So Dortmund, on their side, I think they will probably see this as a favorable one too. I think they will be most happy with Atletico Madrid because at least they're also, these are I would say these are the two weaker teams of this whole part of the quarterfinals. In a way, if you look at it overall, though there's of course all the teams, other teams have their strength, like pros and cons and strengths and weaknesses overall. But if you look at it, like if somebody would say which one of these are the one with the least kind of amount of strength to it, most people will point to this. But it's overall, it's still I think it's gonna be a interesting clash. Because Atletico are a very defensive team, and Dortmund can be defensive at times, but they are more inclined to go forward and tactically kind of open up. I think Terzic has done a decent job with it all, and he's done some good overall work with the club. But we'll see. We'll see what happens here. It's interesting title. I can't really predict at the moment, but if I would maybe say, I think probably Atletico will squeeze through because Simeone's tactics are can be very interesting, very hard-headed, defensively they can catch you off guard just like they did with against Inter. But I think Inter was the one that was really the ones who blew that game. Like, it wasn't really Atletico overpowering them. I think it was just Inter just completely just fumbling that second leg. They even went up first. They even scored first, and then they just lost all the focus and all that kind of stuff. So but Atletico Madrid did go through against them, and they took the as well to penalties, I think, right? Was it? Oh no, or was it in the, yeah, it was penalties, right? Sorry. They took him as well to penalties, and then that penalty shootout was very much in Atletico's favor because, overall, the penalties from Inter, you saw that they were not confident at all with most of their penalties. Like Alexis Sanchez and Lautaro Martinez, their penalties were awful, and they they kind of just fumbled, and then it's all Lautaro Martinez. He shot it right over the bar. He sent it over sky high, and you just see that the nerves have gotten to Inter, and they were just not really in it anymore towards the end, like they're in the in extra time, in like extra time as well, but and then into that penalty shootout. So it was more on Inter's part that they really lost the game pretty much. They lost the hold of the game and let Atletico Madrid back in, and that's something when you face a team like Atletico, that's something you should never do. Because they are maybe not tactically overall like the greatest, but they can hit you very very quickly if you don't focus on the counter or anything else. That's what kind of they did towards them with Memphis Depay scoring and like and also anything like that. So it was overall just a crazy game, but yeah, Atletico managed to catch them off guard more, and that's why that thing happened as it happened. But we'll see. I think they can possibly get past Dortmund here, but they are on our side. Whoever wins there, we could be our potential semi-final opponent. But we'll get to that a little bit later. Now, before we get into our game, we have another big repeat of last year, and it's two big giants, of course. It's Real Madrid versus Manchester City, and wow, this this is gonna be very good. Of course, as a Barcelona fan, I'm very happy that they got a difficult opponent, but this is gonna be something that's very different. You know, last year they got demolished 4-0 at the Etihad, I believe it was, right? They tumbled out of the Champions League, and City went on to win it. We'll see what happens there this time because overall City are still that team. They are the still the team to beat here, and they are the main favorites, 100% of this competition, obviously, and they're very strong. But they also do have their weaknesses here and there as well, and that has been affecting them. And we'll see if how long Ederson is out for. I don't know if he's out for long or not. He got an injury, so that can be costly if he's not back then. But I think he probably will, but we'll see. But it is a lot of different stuff there. I don't know. Pep has really brought them in. They are not having as of an easy cruise at this point now, compared to last year, going in for winning the Premier League title. It is a little bit more tighter this time around, but they do focus on all the titles. They want to repeat the success they had last year. So they want to possibly go in for that again, and it can happen, but it's gonna take much. Carlo Ancelotti, on the other hand, has brought Real Madrid up here, and they have interesting players to say the least. I'm not gonna talk about some of the most obvious stuff, the room here, the questionable decisions and refereeing, that. I'll leave that to the side for now, but this is a game between two very, very strong teams, and it can be very interesting to see what can happen here. Though I think most people would see Manchester City as the favorites, because what they did last year, and they are just overall the better team, I would say, with the better squad, and I think Pep Guardiola is far a better up their coach than Ancelotti at the moment. So, but anything can happen in the Champions League. You know how it is in this competition. But I would say Manchester City goes through here. Possibly, I think that would be my main prediction in this. But who knows? It can be another way as well. But the first leg is at the Bernabeu. So that is a good thing for City. They can take the second leg back home to the Etihad and just do possibly what they did last year. We'll see. But it's gonna be interesting to say at least. This is gonna be one of the main clashes that's gonna be very fun to watch, and they'll be facing either Arsenal or Bayern in the semifinals. So I'm very happy that we avoided all the main strongest teams. That's my because you know probably who we all know who we're facing, and they're also a strong team. But yeah, um, but I mean the most biggest favorites in this competition. We're not facing them at least until the final if we get there. But yeah, that's Real Madrid, Manchester City. Now we get to the main one for us sports fans. It is one team that we faced before, a team that we made a big comeback against, of course, before as well. And there's a lot of factors into this that can weigh back and forth, but it is PSG versus Barcelona. We are facing PSG again, and it's gonna be interesting. It definitely is. Luis Enrique's PSG this time around. The coach that we had that led us to a treble back in 2015. The same coach that led us win that remontada, the 6-1 comeback against them in the round of 16 back then in 2016. So or 2017. Sorry, 2017. I mean, so this is very much a comeback for Enrique with Barcelona, to Barcelona, and going again up against his former team that he coached. Also, another player that's recently gone over there, Ousmane Dembele. He's facing us again, which is gonna be interesting and very interesting to see what he can do there. But I don't think he's barely done anything at all. Anyways, I don't think he's gonna be that much of a worry for us. But someone who is, let's address another elephant in the room. It's the main guy that's in all the headlines from France and going where he's gonna go next. Liverpool, Real Madrid, whatever, yada yada. It's Kylian Mbappe. And he's the main. I think he is the main one who stands in our way of going for us and going far in this competition. He's the only one, the main one. I think we have to worry about. If we can keep him off, if we can close him off fully, I think. Sorry, freaking hell! I got hit up now for some reason. If we can close off Kylian Mbappe, I think we can. It will be in our favor very well, because their defense is not the absolute greatest. They're not the most toughest defense in the world. So we can, if we just do the tactics right, I think we can go in there and we can even at Parc des Princes, we can put up a good proper performance. Because that's the first leg. We're playing away at first, which is good. That is a massive advantage for us. So we'll be in the semifinals as well, but we'll talk about that then if we get there. But for now, that is a good start for us, that we are playing first in Paris at their home stadium, so we can feel it out a bit, and hopefully we can get away with a decent result. Maybe like a 1-0 or 2-1 or something will be the most favorable for us. Like, even if a draw happens, it wouldn't be the end of the world. It would be still good. As long as we don't concede too much there or mess up too much. I think if we can get a result in our favor at Parc des Princes, it will look very good. Our chances going through will be even better than when we go back at home at the Montjuic. And I hope the fans will be there as well, just like they were with Napoli, with the Napoli game. I think we can go full force here and hopefully put up a great performance. And it's not impossible. This is the best thing we can get kind of almost in a way. Um, Otherwise, maybe the best thing would have been if we got Dortmund, Atletico got PSG, maybe, and then that one thing. But this is a free kind of going into the. This is a pretty much the clearest path we can have to get to the final. If we can get back past PSG, I think we'll be massively favorable to go at least get to the final. Whether we win or not, if we get there, that's the whole thing. We cross that bridge when we get there, if we get there. But at least going as far as getting into the semifinals, I think we have a chance here to do it. But it's gonna take a lot. We cannot not of course not underestimate PSG. Luis Enrique is a good tactician as well. He knows what his players decently. You saw how he did it with us. So hopefully, Xavi has a proper plan here and he can execute that plan properly. Hopefully by then, as I said, PSG are a strong team. Enrique has some very good tactics. He's good with it, and Mbappe is their strongest player, and it's gonna be tough to. But if we can hold them off, I think we have a good chance. You know, if we can hold them off in the first leg, we can have a good chance of doing good in this tie and getting through to the semifinals. And they also have other good players as well in there, but he's the main threat. We have Hakimi, who's gonna be suspended for the first game. He'll be suspended. He's not gonna be playing, which is good. But also, speaking of suspensions, there's a possibility that some of our players could be suspended in the second leg if they pick up yellow cards. Those players are Frenkie de Jong, Christensen, Araujo, Lamine Yamal, Ferran Torres, and Roberto. I think that's all, and João Felix as well, right? That's pretty much almost all pretty much guaranteed starters, and that is really, really bad. And I hate this rule. This rule should be one of those rules that should be 100% abolished and shouldn't even be a thing. Or if it is a thing, it shouldn't be just a 2-card limit until you get suspended. That is absolutely terrible. This is some of the biggest bullshit from UEFA. You know, it's just not okay. I just hate that, because in the leagues you have like a 5-card at least, and that's fine. That's like okay. If you do it 5 times, you understandably. But that they have it here for only 2 games is just, that is stupid. And it's the Champions League. It's not the same thing as a league game. This ruins every single game, because then the players are not gonna be able to put in their best, because they know they can be suspended. Have that in the back of their head, they can be suspended if they pick up a yellow card. And it's so dumb. It's so dumb. And it's so stupid. That should be taken off after the freaking group stages. That should be reset, 100% reset once more, right? And not be the same thing in going in for the run of 16 and the knockout stage, right? Rest of the knockout stages, or at least be reset now in the quarterfinals. It not just by the semis. Like, it's just so stupid. I just don't understand that idiotic rule. And it's so dumb. And now we have to be careful. These players have to be careful, very, very careful, not to get suspended in the return leg. So, because that will be very bad. Because these are some of our main guys. It's like, I can maybe handle either João Felix or Ferran getting suspended, maybe, because we have backup in the front. If one of them gets a yellow, both of them though. But when it comes to the defense and the midfield, with the Araujo, Christensen, and Frenkie, that will be absolutely terrible, especially for Hoffen. That will be the worst case scenario, because we need them. We need them there, and Frenkie will be back for that game. So it's very bad. It's very, very bad that this is even a thing, and it shouldn't be a thing. It 100% shouldn't be. It's so stupid, and I just don't understand it. I just don't understand this whatsoever. Like, how this is really seeming nothing, but it's like they have to make sure to not get suspended. And if it happens, if either one of them, like if Raul gets suspended, there is the possibility like Christensen can come back in the defense with Kubarsi and so on. Or the other way, like, oh, you can like turn around something because Frankie will be back, so possibly unfair, so we can work out the midfield in another way. But that will leave problems too. And if both of them get suspended, then yeah, it's gonna be very, very bad. So this is something that I'm very worried about, and that's one of those things that makes me a little bit more wary about this. I just found this out afterwards that we have that many, and it's just so dumb. It should not be a thing. That is one of the dumbest rules that exist in football. It just doesn't make any sense. Why only of the two? Like, I get for the 5-1 in the leagues. That's multiple times during the league you have gotten, like, you have done bad stuff and you accumulate up to 5 times. That's, yeah. Then you know you need to be someone for that stuff. I get that. But in the Champions League, that should not be a rule. That should not be a rule. At least not after the group stages. That should be taken away off the group. In the knockout stages, there should not be a rule like that. It's enough that you get suspended with a red card. Like, why the hell would you messing up teams this way? It just makes it even worse for every team trying to play the right tactics. Now, Araujo has to be careful not to tackle that stupid Mbappe now when he's speeding by. It's just gonna be so annoying. But I hope that Xavi knows what he's doing, that they can really make this work anyways, and the players will focus and be concentrated and good. They did that versus Napoli. None of them got a yellow versus Napoli, so they did that well there. So hopefully they can do it again versus PSG, and be careful. I'm happy that they didn't do it there. So hopefully they can keep that up going into that. Because I think in the semifinals, then that resets, right? That will be reset, or after the semifinals, I don't know, but hopefully we'll deal with that then, right? Whatever happens, but if you get there, but for these two quarterfinal clashes, we need to make sure not to do anything stupid like that and get suspended in the first leg, and then into the second leg. It just shouldn't happen. At least not the defenders and the midfielders. If like Ferran or Jao gets suspended, okay, I think it wouldn't be the end of the world, because we have good players up there who can help out scoring goals. But when it comes to midfield and defense, we don't have that much to work with in that sense. So we have to make sure to know, especially those three: Araujo, Christensen, and Frankie. Those three need to stay away from getting yellow carded. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But that's the overall thing right now. That's the whole clash. That's the whole thing. Hopefully we can get this done, and we can really just go into this clash and just be focused, be ready for anything, and just play our hearts out. This is a big opportunity for us to get back on top, and I really hope at least get to the semifinal. Like, it will be so good for us in so many ways, economically, morally, mentally, everything. It will be so good, not just for us getting closer to winning the title, but for so many other things as well, inside the club and outside, for the fans and for the players and everybody involved. It will be so much better, and it will help us out a lot going forward. So hopefully the players know what they're in for, and that they can do the right thing. We have some really good players, talented, experienced players, and some very, very great and super talented up and coming youngsters And when you put them together, they can do incredible, wonderful stuff. Just like the Napoli, just that we've seen a few times, a few glimpses of that this season, and a couple of the past seasons as well. They know what they can do when Barcelona is at their best, and we are at our best. We know that we can do incredible stuff. I'm not saying we're at our absolute top best like we were 10 years ago or so, but we at least are there. We at least can be like the best that we can be at the moment. When we are at least we're solid, we're flying, we can do great stuff. Yes, we saw versus Napoli in those first 20 minutes or so. We saw what we did. If we play like that and do good stuff like that versus PSG, I think we can go far. And just not make any more stupid mistakes, like conceding like we did there and so on. We just take away the mistakes and be focused and be confident and blazing like we were there. We can get through this. So yeah, that's gonna pretty much do it. I said I was gonna talk about Napoli game. We can go into that a little bit quickly. That game was very, very solid. We handled that strongly and very, very powerfully. We went into that game with confidence, with very good confidence, going quick in the start with those 2 goals with the from Ferdinand and from Cancelo, scoring blazing out. Like that was absolutely wonderful to see. We've been waiting for so long for us to see a team perform like that. And it was wonderful. It was really wonderful. They filled everybody with so much confidence. But of course, then afterwards we dropped off a little bit more, which is typical Barcelona this season. And I hope that we will not do the same going forward. We need to think about that. When we are playing like that, we need to keep going. Not tire ourselves out, but at least keep the momentum as much as possible going like that. That's when we hit them harder. We should go for more as much as possible, and not drop off. Because that leads the other team, the opponents, back into the game, and that's what we did versus Napoli. We let them back in, and then they scored. And after that, it was very stressful for around 35 to 40 minutes until the later parts of the second half, when we finally got back into it again fully. And we're pretty much creating a lot of chances, getting a lot of shots off, and finally we got that third goal with Lewandowski with a great pass from Roberto. So it was a game that we were pretty much in control mostly, but we did drop off way too much and let them back in, which is a bad thing. It was a great performance overall, but it was not. It was a period of time in that game that we just did something that was not good. That was not right, because I think Xavi needs to get this through to the players as well, that dropping off way too much will not be good. Especially like it was okay versus Napoli, they were not, but especially against a team like PSG, they can hit you even harder if you do that. So we need to make sure to always be focused, not lose focus, not drop back. If we are on a good run in that game, we should keep that going as much as possible. I know we cannot keep it throughout the whole game, obviously not, but as much as possible. Keep on pressuring them. I'm not saying you have to go like full on attack like that, but keep on pressuring them. Keep on stressing them out a little bit more. They'll make some mistakes, and then you find an opening again. That's what we need to keep going in those moments, and not just sit back and yeah, we're 2-0 up or something. We're multiple goals. Now we're just sitting back a little bit just to, no. That's not the right mentality for a club like Barcelona. That's like the lesser clubs probably do that, and they will say like, okay, yeah, that's good. We've done something incredible here against the big. We just go. But for us, it's all about to keep that momentum going, especially in the Champions League. If it was the league, okay, I can maybe accept that at times, right? That's a different situation. But in the Champions League, that's a whole other thing. We need to be more focused, need to be more on edge, and need to keep it going full force. Because they will not let you loose. PSG will not. They will keep pressuring. piling on pressure. So we need to be ready. We need to be fully ready. And I know that we can be, and I know that we can do this incredibly well. So let's hope all for the best, and yeah, we'll see what happens. And hopefully we can get through to the semifinals. And then we'll see where we go from there. But yeah, that's it for now. Great performance in the round of 8, round of 16 for the youngsters. A very clear path now for us to this finals. Hopefully we can get there. PSG is next, but before that we have a few league games as well. We have Atletico Madrid coming up now on Sunday, which will be a good decisive test for us as well, where we can see where we're lying at the moment. And we should keep the momentum from Napoli going and getting a good win there as well. So let's hope for that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy this. I know it's a little bit long, but I had to get everything out, you know. And if you did enjoy it, leave a like down below. Also subscribe if you're not done that already, and ring the notification bell to get notified the next time a video like this comes up, or any other transfer update videos or match reviews or other stuff like that. And yeah, that's gonna do it for now. And yeah, we have our path, and let's hope we can go far. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. FCBarcelona.